Greetings family, peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru and thanks for visiting my channel. Family, this video is about a woman who's accused of killing her paraplegic ex-boyfriend by cruelly dumping him in a forest. Deputies found his body after the ex-girlfriend confessed, quote, "I did a bad thing," unquote. This story was provided by David Lohr, and with that in mind, let's go to the story. So family, a paraplegic man died an unspeakable cruel death after his ex-girlfriend abandoned him in the cold at a remote Georgia hunting camp, the local sheriff said. Troymaine Johnson, 33, had been in the woods, quote, a good 2 nights and part of 1 morning before the ex-girlfriend's disturbing statement sent deputies on a search, said Upson County Sheriff Dan Kilgore. "I can't imagine the desperation he must have felt while lying in the middle of a cold, dark forest, waiting on death to take him," unquote, Kilgore told the Huffington Post. Johnson's ex-girlfriend, 27-year-old Ruby Kate, or Katie, Coursey of Fort Valley, admitted abandoning Johnson, authorities said, and has been charged with felony murder and felony neglect of a disabled adult. She was held at Upton County Jail. It wasn't clear whether she has an attorney. Deputies on March 17th found Johnson's body in a heavily wooded area some 70 miles south of Atlanta. The search began after the sheriff received a call from relatives of Coursey, who said she'd admitted leaving Johnson in the woods. Quote, "I did a bad thing," Coursey said, according to police. "I hurt Troymaine. I took him out of the car and left him in the woods," unquote. Family, as you can see, this is a pale female, and once again, this is a story where swirling goes wrong. We've seen so many cases where interracial relationships end up going very south, and ultimately, oftentimes, death. And unfortunately, this man lost his life due to swirling and trusting his life to a pale female. Now, for those of you who swirl, that's your business if that's what you choose to do, but every time you end up in a bad situation with them, well, you shouldn't be expecting help whatsoever. But I digress. I'm going to go back to this story. Coursey told deputies she couldn't remember exactly where she left Johnson. Oh, she remembered all right. She just didn't want to give it up right away. She wanted to probably make sure he was dead. Nevertheless, investigators began scouring backwoods in southeast Upton County. It was about 1:20 a.m. on March 17th, more than 2 days after Johnson had been last seen, that deputies on a remote road came upon a driveway with a damaged entry gate. Quote, "The gate had been pushed in, hit so hard the concrete posts had pulled up," Kilgore said. They drove down in some 150 to 200 yards off the road and located his body on the ground near a hunting camp. Because there was no obvious trauma to Johnson's body, authorities didn't immediately charge Coursey in Johnson's death. However, they jailed her on an unrelated probation violation. The investigation determined Coursey had borrowed a friend's vehicle on March 14th, authorities said. The vehicle had front-end damage consistent with hitting a gate, and paint from the vehicle matched paint found on the damaged hunting camp gate, police said. Johnson had very limited mobility and only partial use of one arm, his grandmother told investigators. He was 11 years old, his grandmother told police, when a friend playing with a handgun accidentally shot him. From that point on, Johnson was dependent on a wheelchair and the care of those around him, the sheriff said. Excuse me. Johnson's grandmother told police she last saw Johnson at their Thomaston home on the evening of March 14th. Johnson and Coursey, quote, had a previous relationship which had deteriorated, unquote, Kilgore said. That evening, she went to his house and picked him up. His grandmother assumed, since they didn't take his wheelchair or anything else he needed, that they were just going to ride around. They were last seen near there around 8:30 that night. Coursey, according to police, has refused to speak since providing investigators the vague details of Johnson's whereabouts. So you see, black men, this white woman, this pale female, she didn't care whatsoever about this man's life. We say that Black Lives Matter, and they constantly show that no, Black lives do not matter. She was his ex-girlfriend. And so here it is that she takes him out and leaves his body, and then she pretends like she forgot where she dumped him at, and then refused to even cooperate any further with the investigators after she gave vague details as to where he was at. So this pale female wanted him to die, and no, she didn't help them find him at all. At this point, if she comes out and apologizes, who would forgive her? Certainly not this family. Please tell me this black family does not come out and say that they forgive her. Please tell me that. More than anything, I hope the white media don't even ask that stupid, lame question. Why they do that to black people, I'll never understand. It's a low frequency thought process of the Europeans. That's all I can say. But nonetheless, I hope that they don't forgive this young lady, because she doesn't deserve any type of forgiveness. But anyways, Johnson's funeral was held March 24th. Quote, his father's dead, his mother's dead, so he's leaving his earthly family to go on and be with his heavenly family, unquote, his aunt Sharon Rumpf told Macon's WMAZ-TV. Johnson's cousin, Sade Owens, described him as someone who was easy to like. Quote, you didn't even have to know him, but you just loved him because he was himself, and that's probably what we're going to miss the most, unquote, Owens told WMAZ-TV. Family, I'm going to show a short video, and then I'll end this video off. So family, before I get to the video, I want to show you Kate Coursey's tweet. I believe that's what this is, that she shared. It says, Diary of a Psycho Bitch's photo. And as you can see here, it says, 7 stages of dating me. She's pretty. This is fun. She's meaning, but it's a joke. Nope, not a joke. I'm scared. Help. Why is my house on fire? Yeah, she was a strange cookie. And then at the very end it says, Troy Maine Johnson, call me. And that was posted January 31st. This was her Facebook page. Ruby Kate Coursey. She is the degenerate pale female that killed this young man.
Troy Johnson, the paraplegic man who was found dead last week in a wooded area in Upson County. Johnson's funeral was Thursday. Nicole Butler went to Fort Valley to find out more about him.
His father's dead, his mother's dead, so he's leaving his earthly family to go on and be with his heavenly family.
Dozens of people came out to show their love and support for Troy Maine Johnson's family as they laid him to rest. His aunt Sharon Rumpf remembers Troy Maine as a young man who was very well known and loved in Fort Valley.
It's sad that he left here at such an early age, but I believe that God is too wise to make a mistake.
But while some mourned the loss, others celebrated his life.
I mean, walking down the street, he didn't even have to know you. He would just say something stupid. It just, you know, it was just always fun because we knew, you know, what kind of person he was. You didn't even have to know him, but you loved him because he was just himself, and that's probably what we're going to miss the most.
Cousin Sade Owen says that they were a tight-knit family, going over to their grandma's house every night to see each other. One part she always looked forward to was Troy's passion for rapping.
Just rap whenever he got a chance. He didn't even know what, he could just see somebody and just start rapping about them right off top. Everybody loved 80 Baby. Everybody loved him.
His family said that despite being in a wheelchair, he was never too busy to help someone in need. In Fort Valley, Nicole Butler, WFAZ Eyewitness News.
Well, family, as you can see, I got a little excited there, so my apology. I screwed up a little bit.
Camp has not been charged. Sheriff Kilgore says they're still awaiting Johnson's autopsy results, which may take another week.
So as you can see from the turnout of his funeral, that you swirlers out there, you young black men and you young black women who decide that you're going to go and date outside of your race, and you're deciding that you're going to date, of all people, the pale male or the pale female, just understand that when the end result ends up like this, we all, in the end, have to show up and pay our respects for the decisions that you made. This is the end of this video. I hope this thug criminal right here goes to jail for the rest of her life for his murder. Tremaine Johnson, rest in peace. Thanks for watching, family. Peace and love to you and yours. And until the next video, don't forget to love yourself. I'm out.